My guest today in the Weinreporter studio is coming a long, long way from South Africa to Hamburg. He was on the last weekend on the wine salon to present his wine. It's Gerard de Villiers. Gerard de Villiers sounds not South African, sounds not English or whatever, it sounds French. How it comes there?
My forefathers left France in 1688 with the French Huguenots and travelled to South Africa, and they settled in Franschhoek, in Boschendal. And so I've been in South Africa for many generations, and we've come a full circle. I am now a wine estate owner, so the tradition continues.
Okay, so Gerard is one of, it's out of a family from this Huguenots who came with the first settlers, and they brought the wine to South Africa in this time, together with some German guys.
There were some German people as well, and some Dutch people as well, but primarily French and German.
And French grapes, of course, in this time.
That's right.
Gerard, he's now the owner of a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful winery in Stellenbosch. The name is Kleinood.
That's right.
That means something like jewel or...
It's a Dutch or a German word, and also Afrikaans, which is my mother language. And Kleinood means something small and precious. It needn't be expensive, but it is something that's small that is important to you. And my wife and I decided that that is a good name for our farm.
And the place where it is, it's the name is Tamboerskloof.
That's right. Tamboerskloof is also a residential area just outside Cape Town. The Deutsche Schule is in Tamboerskloof. It's a popular area for German-speaking people. I lived in Tamboerskloof with my family for 24 years, and when we bought the farm, we thought that it was a good name for our brand. The name Tamboerskloof comes from a tambourine, that's a drum, and a kloof is a valley. And what they did when the settlers started their farming in South Africa in the 1600s, they planted fresh vegetables for the ships coming from Europe around to India, and they had people sitting on the mountains, on Table Mountain or Signal Hill, looking, and if they saw the sails coming from either India or Europe, they would hit the drum. And the next hill, another guy with his drum, and so on, until they got to the valley, and the people would cut the fresh vegetables.
And on the end, they fired the cannon at Kanonkop.
At Kanonkop.
At Kanonkop.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's how they got the vegetables.
That was a very early form of communication.
That's right. Now things have changed. I get an email from Germany. I want some wine on the harbour. Unfortunately, there's no more Tamboerskloof.
Some SMS. But on your winery, you have only two wines. The main one is a red wine, and it's made out of Syrah, and you have a small portion of white wine.
That's right. At the time that we bought the farm, I always feel uncomfortable with one estate producing 8 or 9 wines. And I cannot think you can make a top Syrah and also a top Sauvignon Blanc from the same estate. So the philosophy is that we concentrate on Rhône-style wines, our own cultivars. We planted Shiraz, Viognier, Mourvèdre, and now a bit of Roussanne. And our flagship is the Tamboerskloof Shiraz, which has got primarily Shiraz, a bit of Viognier, and some Mourvèdre.
That's the wine we have tonight in the glass from the vintage 2007.
That's right.
So it's, for me, personally, it's one of the most European South African Shiraz I ever had. So it's a real Rhône-style wine, and more northern Rhône than south Rhône. That's right. A lot of black fruit and black pepper, and it's spicy and has enough acidity. So it's not a hot climate wine, it's more like a cool climate wine. And you do it in Stellenbosch, and that's not the coolest climate in South Africa.
No, it's not the coolest. We are fortunate that we are relatively low in the valley, close to a spot where two rivers come together, so that the ecosystem is quite cool. Our temperatures, we only start picking, for instance, the second week in March, which is 2 weeks later than most people. So as far as Stellenbosch goes, it's relatively cool. Obviously, there's a lot of sun. We didn't try to make a wine in a specific style. It is not as if we are trying to follow the French or the Australians or South Africa. We just make it as sensitively as possible, as naturally as possible, and this is what the terroir gives us. This wine is naturally fermented. We don't add yeast. We allow it to ferment slowly. If it wants to ferment slowly, we don't chase the fermentation. We use only French wood, big barriques, 500-liter barriques, once again, to give it time. So there's nothing chasing us, and this is the product we get.
This is one of the, believe me or believe it not, it's one of the most elegant red wines from South Africa I ever had, and I thank you very much for coming to Hamburg. Show us this wine, and I hope you come back soon.
Thank you, Mario.